Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, Rat Salad Review Network has plenty of shows to choose from. Like Rat Salad Review, where they discuss the latest rock and metal news, as well as interviews and albums. Album vs. Album, the King Diamond Podcast, with Wayne Noon, Greg Noggle, and sometimes this guy.
Smack 'em a gob!
Ralph Vieira is also on our network with the Vieira Vault. There's also Old Man Metal's Musings, where he discusses heavy metal and beer. Music is Life with Lou Mavs. The Right Opinion for those who love politics. A South Park podcast called Suck My Balls. The Infinite Fringe, a watch-along wrestling show called Beyond Bushido. Ex-Stradivarius guitarist, the Timo Tolkki podcast. And the Great Harry Barnett with I Don't Even Like Podcast and the Laughcast. So check out ratsaladreview.com or search Rat Salad Review on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. Let's wait for the... There we go.
Can Nick grow a beard?
I don't think he can. He's not old enough. He's got to be frozen like that. I think your cigarette's in your nose. What? And you're probably going to take that out of your nose and put it in your mouth. That's disgusting.
You know what, Wayne?
And we have an intro for the show,
buddy.
We have an intro for the show. All right. Got it.
Let's do this.
All right.
This is like the Mount Rushmore of Rat Salad Review.
So you sit down to watch Rat Salad Review and forget about your troubles and hammer down a bottle of white wine.
And shrimp.
Fuck yeah.
And
Diddly
shrimp.
diddly.
And
White wine
shrimp.
spritzer.
And white wine. Little cut Eric for your ass there.
All right.
So, can you see me? I mean, my face is perfectly in my picture. So
Your face is as good as it's going to look.
You can see it
I
just
see
fine.
him fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Or, my nipples hurt when you pinch them.
Welcome to Album vs. Album. What's going on, everybody? Oh, shit. What the fuck is that thing? Who are you?
It's
Oh.
the Squatch. It's a
I'm a
Squatch.
cannibal humanistic underground dweller.
It's here to
Oh.
advertise
The
Jack Links.
chud!
I'm the
Bud
judge.
the chud.
Uncle Saxon. Who the hell let Uncle Saxon on the show?
It was you, Wayne. You actually called me and begged me to come on, if I remember right.
That's true.
And it's like, the ratings are so low that we need you back, Uncle Sax. I'm like, well, you know something? I'm kind of doing my own thing. And Dragon, he's jerking off with the felching pole in his butt. And Nate, he doesn't even seem to know what's going on. He just makes macaroni and cheese and fucking slathers himself.
I'm just pulling it the
And,
Joe Biden way.
I'm just saying that, I thought I would come on and save your show. So here I am.
Oh, well, I'm
Crikey.
so glad I called and thought of calling you. It was a good idea. Welcome back for now.
Thank you, brother. I love you guys, by the way. I miss you with all my heart. I wish I could hug each and every one of you individually and kind of
good there.
maybe slip it in. I don't know.
We're good like this. It's.
Buy me a drink first.
I'm surprised nobody has a mask on. I'm the only one with a mask on.
I'm eating
wrong with you?
barbecue.
He's a mask.
What do you have
Barbecue,
like?
you
What do you have like? People sick in your home or something? Why the fuck would you wear a mask in your own house?
Wait a minute. You're not supposed to wear it like 24 hours?
Wait, it's upside down.
And I mean, I already knew you were from New York, so I knew you were half a Riri, but I guess you're full blown now that you're wearing a mask in the basement.
Wait, I thought we were supposed to wear it like 24/7.
Where'd you guys hide
You're
the
reminding me
body?
of Kyle's
Far
cousin
Rockaway?
Kyle.
So I don't have to wear it in the house.
Yeah, 24 seconds every
The
7
ever
minutes.
sick Jew.
24 seconds every second. Yeah, that's totally the regulation. Fucking right. So, Wayne, I'll set the stopwatch here.
Ready?
Only for 24 seconds every 7 minutes, or you will get sick and die.
Hey, de Blasio fucking has been all over the tube, and so is Como, and we just gotta trust what they tell us. So
Cuomo defunded Medicaid and is suffering the repercussions.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. But we're not here to talk about any virus, because no virus is affecting Rat Salad Review. Well, as of now. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few days, weeks, or months.
I don't know. I like pestilence.
We'll be all right. You're young. You're not going to die. You're too young. We are here to talk about 2 albums.
So said many a rock star.
Do I got this right? Yeah. Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. And and Dio. The hell's this album called? Oh.
Holy diver. How dare you
a
forget
classic.
that.
I'm sorry.
you guys both got the vinyl for those? That's cool as shit, man.
Yeah. I got mine
like
$1.
I'm sending out my love to the vinyl collectors out there in fucking YouTube and Spotify land. I wish I could have gotten into vinyl, back in the day, but I was a CD freak, and it doesn't.
I'm a CD freak as well, and
But
I didn't want.
You guys are cooler than me because now you're in vinyl, and vinyl's the thing. So
I didn't
I'm
want
a CD freak because I'm a sorry, Wayne. Let's just start there. I'm trying not to talk over anyone. I'm a CD freak because I'm a delivery driver and I'm driving everywhere in my own car. And I don't have a record player at my house. But if I had a record player at my house, I'd buy a lot more vinyl.
What about streaming?
I only do that to make sure that the stuff I want to buy is good.
Good. That's very good of you. I'm glad. Did
I'm a musician.
The youth of today, is that a Chipwich?
24 in life, you got it. 24 in life to go.
The youth of today does have some hope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His crime is Doritos, and it's 24 in life to go.
More hope than you. You didn't go see Whiplash.
I did not.
This is the band that wrote The Burning of Atlanta, and you didn't fucking go.
I did not.
That was at Burnsville, wasn't it?
No, it was my brother was playing a show with Whiplash.
He lives in New York. It's like, yeah.
What was the show we were supposed? Oh, it was Leeway and somebody else in Burnsville. Remember that, Dragon?
Yeah, Leeway and God, I can't remember who the opener was now, but
dude, I fucking
Leeway
love
was
Leeway. Somebody
else.
Yeah, it would have been really fucking cool, and I'm sure there was 6 people there, but
Leeway's like combining ST and Anthrax. Like it's like
ST.
That's fucking great riff.
ST.
ST.
All right, let's get on with this show, please. Uncle Saxon, these are your picks since we let you come back on the show, since I begged and pleaded you to come back on the show. Why did you pick these albums?
You actually wiped off your face and forehead after you talked to me, right?
Yes, I did.
See that clean?
Buffing it.
These 2 albums.
Buffing it with hood wax.
Yeah, come on.
These two albums, I believe, were from 1982 and 1983, respectively. I'm never good at stats. That's Dragon's domain. But Mob Rules, I believe, came out in 82. And
81.
Dio's Holy Diver came out in 83. And at the time, they were probably the 2 heaviest fucking albums. Commercial, mainstream, highly accessible albums to come out during that period. Ozzy wasn't that heavy. Randy Rhoads was not a heavy guitar player. But Iommi's Mob Rules, come on. Turn Up the Night, that thing, that's just a blow track, and everything on Holy Diver with Vivian Campbell, just heavy as shit. And it really turned some cranks in my circle, because I was actually alive when they came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you guys didn't experience that.
No, I did
So
not.
we're going to talk about Black Sabbath's Mob Rules from 1982. Tony Iommi, Ronnie James Dio. Was Jimmy Bain on there? And
No.
Vinny
No.
No, it was Geezer?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because Jimmy Bain was in there for Holy Diver, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Jimmy Bain played with Dio in Rainbow. He was on like Richie Blackmore's Rainbow and Rising, and
so they brought
roll.
Geezer back for Mob Rules. I mean, between Never Say Die and Mob Rules.
Geezer never left. Bill Ward left after Heaven and Hell, and that's why Vinny plays drums on Mob Rules.
That's why. Okay, all right. So there's my man. Tell him.
And it was 81, by the way.
I just realized it looks like a swastika.
That's real nice. Thanks. He's wearing a DRI shirt if anybody's listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I love DRI.
And Uncle Saxon has a DRI tattoo that we cannot see because he doesn't have his arm.
That's going to be my first.
Very good.
Anyways, so those are the two albums. I'm going to give it over to Nate to explain the younger group perspective on these two albums. Let's just do these two albums individually, one at a time. Nate, just talk about both of the albums, and then Dragon, and then Nooner, and then me.
Go.
Mob Rules, I thought was okay. Turn Up the Night, great opener, good song. It's your typical fast Dio song. Voodoo, another good first, really Sabbath song on the album. I mean, the riff is a little more bluesy, a little more actually Sabbath. Sign of the Southern Cross would have been a lot better with Bill Ward drumming.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gets dull.
I disagree.
I agree.
E5150. I can't even remember. I listened to this album last week.
It's just a bunch of noise. It's nothing.
Yeah. The Mob Rules, cool song.
That's what everybody did at the time. I mean,
Right.
Van Halen's Cathedral,
That's
everybody
why I
was
can't
doing
remember
these
it.
really impressive fucking operatic instrumentals. And that was really part of every album that came out at that time. Knew you were going to hear one of those operatic, weird, experimental fucking things.
Yeah.
And E5150 probably tops all of them, man. That is such a fucking you kind of want to die during that song,
It's just noise.
Yeah, I kind of want to die for completely different reasons during that song.
It's not a song.
Exactly.
It's just like some weird noise. It's a
Makes
segue
me want
into
to fall off the edge of the
good
world. Anyway, the Mob Rules, cool song, good riff. Same with Country Girl. Slipping Away was cool as well. Falling Off the Edge of the World, hands down best song in the album. Best riff, best vocal performance, best chorus. It doesn't drag.
You're right, Odie?
Falling Off the Edge of the World sounds most like a classic Sabbath song.
Right. it's what I want to hear from Sabbath.
But played in a new style, yeah.
Right.
That might be why I don't.
A lot of these songs are showing the early signs of what I call the Dio Borg disease, where he turns every band he's in into just a support act for himself.
I will agree with you on that.
Would anybody else need a support act other than fucking
That's
Ronnie
true.
James fucking Dio, man? Holy shit.
It's Black Sabbath. They're all
Right.
really cool on their own, too, though.
Exactly, but you're saying that Ronnie James Dio shouldn't have named his band Dio?
No,
But
Dio
you're
is the
fucking
one where he
thinking?
intended to do that. He did it with Rainbow and Sabbath unintentionally, where he turned them into basically pre-Dio.
Right, and he got the fucking chance, and he fucking got the best players, and
But the
turned
songwriting,
his legacy into a mega legacy.
the songwriting suffers as a result,
You're fucking full of shit.
especially the riff writing.
What a dick. You're a fucking dick.
And I like Dio's melodrama, but I like him to be more under control with better riffing.
Okay, so just continue Black Sabbath then, forever and ever. You did hear Dehumanizer, right? You did hear fucking Heaven and Hell, right?
Heaven and
They
Hell
got
was
back
great.
together, and he had the fucking best guitar player in the world riffing behind him. But between those years, he had Vivian Campbell and Craig Goldie and, a lot of really good fucking guitarists riffing behind him. But they all accented his fucking voice, man. And his vocals is top 3. If you can say there's anybody better than Dickinson, Halford, and Dio, please, I want to hear it from you
Phil
right
Anselmo is better than Dio.
now.
Phil Anselmo has got an unbelievable dude.
Show's over.
Cowboys from Hell alone.
Yeah, I'm done.
Unbelievable amount of versatility.
Wow, man.
I quit my own show.
Dio does like one thing.
Oh.
Dio does like one thing the entire time.
Can you still see me? Because I want the look on my face to be captured for all time. Can you say that again? Phil Anselmo is better than those 3?
No, not those 3, just Dio.
Oh, even then.
No, Rob Halford is the pinnacle.
Oh my god.
Oh, but Dehumanizer, though, I don't even think that's really Sabbath at that point. It's more of just a doom power metal band.
Nah, it's very much a continuation of Mob Rules. It's very much a continuation of Mob Rules.
But I don't hear the Sabbath.
In '84, yeah.
Or here.
Because there's no Sabbath sound really in Mob Rules either.
Right, that's my problem.
There is.
There is, but it's not as prevalent as it is in Heaven and Hell.
And that's why I like Heaven and Hell.
Heaven and Hell's way better.
We're Born Again, because Mob Rules just goes into Born Again. It's like a natural continuation with Ian Gillan singing Dio's vocals. Those 2 albums back to back by themselves, Mob Rules and Born Again, it's like Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules, and Born Again should be a trilogy of sorts. Just fucking the beauty of fucking metal in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't know. I've always been an Ozzy guy for Sabbath. So.
Born Again's the best thing they ever did. I love the Ozzy years, but Born Again's their best record.
Tony Martin.
Now, see, I don't deny that. I mean, I love just about everything Sabbath has ever done except for 13, which is just complete fucking garbage. But
right,
there's some
album.
Tony Martin stuff I like, but my problem with a lot of the songs they were putting out during that era is my problem with a lot of classic bands when they reform with a different vocalist like that. instead of them trying to work new things in their sound, they end up sounding like they're trying to sound like themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like,
like that song Nightwing is a great example of that. It's okay, but it just sounds like them trying to riff on a song off of Heaven and Hell or Mob Rules, but with Tony Martin on vocals, and sounds passionless.
You can see my bias right there.
You guys seem like you overthink this, and then I'm going to overthink it right now by saying I think all the Tony Martin stuff would have sounded better with Ray Gillen. But Ray Gillen is one of my all-time favorite singers.
Oh yeah.
So I listened to TYR, and I listened to, what was the other album he was on? Seventh Star?
No, Headless Cross.
Headless Cross, yeah, and I can hear Ray Gillen singing those songs, and that's kind of why I've enjoyed them, because I, kind of replaced the vocals in my head. And Tony Martin's fucking awesome as shit. Anything else he ever did was great, but Ray Gillen, man, Tony Iommi fucked up. He should have just kept Gillen, and they could have made some really cool shit together.
I guess I was not.
I'm with you. No, they could have. Yeah. I think there's a lot to that story, though. I really don't know the whole background to why he let him go. Because
but you got the demos, and you got to tell me that the demos with Ray Gillen are way better.
Oh yeah, of Eternal Idol, definitely.
Yeah. Who? Oh, was that Glenn Hughes singing on that?
No, Glenn Hughes was on Seventh Star.
Okay, who was singing on Eternal Idol then?
Tony Martin.
Okay, yeah. So the Eternal Idol demos that we both have with Ray Gillen singing, and you listen to them back and back, and I've only done it once probably because there's just too much music out there, but and I was biased, but Ray Gillen, God, the guy was a stud. The guy was a fucking stud, man.
Well, getting back to Mob Rules.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're still talking about that album. It's cool. I mean, I like it. There's some songs I really don't like. Mob Rules is one of my favorites on here. Sign of the Southern Cross, probably my most favorite Black Sabbath song. Country Girl's cool. Turn Up the Night's not too bad. What's the first song? Is it Turn Up the Night?
Turn Up the Night.
Yeah. I didn't like that song when we did this show another time. But after listening to it today,
I wasn't involved with that whatsoever, by the way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I like the album cover.
The album cover is very cool. I like this one better than Heaven and Hell. It's pretty cool with these. I don't know what the hell these people are. I don't even. What is this supposed to be?
I keep thinking monks from Monty Python that smack themselves in the head.
No,
Dragon, do you have any? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's a Ray Hildebrandt painting, but I forget exactly what it's of. But they picked the painting and then turned it into the album cover. It wasn't actually drawn for the record.
All right. Still
because
like an old timey, fucking Jesus cloth kind of thing, or what?
He painted shit for like fantasy book covers and shit like that. That's probably from the 70s. Yeah.
Oh, all right. So, all right.
I mean, the guy does some really fucking cool work, but it's not old or anything. The whole thing is a mural between the front and the back cover. They like took it and kind of wrapped it around, but
yeah. But I mean, it's not one of my favorite Sabbath albums. I thought it was a little bit better than what
I find both of you's lackluster response to this record disheartening.
I know you do. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I can understand why, but
I openly admit my bias, though.
Yeah, like Nate says, it's Dio. He's turning, Sabbath into his own band, which, he's a front man. He's kind of supposed to be doing that, but
how are you saying that?
Ozzy didn't do that, and Ozzy had
his own band because Sabbath came up with all those riffs, man. and those riffs make the album.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
But
and that's the thing about it. You can, and yes, you can hear Dio's influence more on this record. However, they hadn't quite reached that critical point like they did on Live Evil, where everything totally fucking fell apart and they couldn't stand each other. They were collaborating here, and they were working with Dio's ideas, and it's Sabbath doing something new. It's not the fucking rocket out of the gate that Heaven and Hell was, because they had so much pent up energy there, but it's them going in a new, fresh.
Iommi was seeing what Blackmore was doing at the time, and listening to those first three Rainbow albums, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I can get on board with this. Let's get fucking Dio and his songwriting abilities on board, because it kind of fits in with the Black Sabbath vibe, you know."
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, Iommi was listening to fucking those Blackmore albums.
Oh, I'm sure.
Who wasn't at that time, really? You know,
but
especially other musicians.
Yeah, I mean, his riffs on here are great. The band just sounds awesome. My only real problem with it is I wish Bill Ward was still on drums, because him and Geezer definitely had a much better, more interesting interplay. But they still make it work, and that's the great thing about Geezer and Tony Iommi. But Falling Off the Edge of the World is one of the best songs they ever did. Such a catchy riff. Turn Up the Night, which actually in all reality is very similar to Stand Up and Shout, but what's interesting there is you get two totally different takes on the guitar on something like that, because you got Tony with his vibrato and then Vivian Campbell doing his pyrotechnic thing. But anyway, that's a fucking badass song too. E5150, you know, that's really just an opener. It's cool. It's atmospheric. I don't get why you guys hate it so much. I mean,
I don't hate it. It just, I don't know. It's a cool intro to Mob Rules.
I think it goes on a little bit long. I think he perfected his ideas a little bit better on Born Again with the intros, but I still like it here. It's effective. Country Girl's a great song. Slipping Away is great. I already said what I thought about Falling Off the Edge of the World, and On's a great closer. It's just all around a solid record.
What's cool, really cool about Sign of the Southern Cross is it's not even like the lyrics that need to be catchy with that song. The guitar chords are catchy to that song, and the bass line, the extra little added bass parts that he puts in between the guitar section. I can't even describe it, but just the things that he does in between that song, it's not just the lyrics. It's just how the music is, and it's just all so catchy. You know, just when I was listening to this earlier today, I'm more singing the guitar parts and the bass parts than I am with the lyrics. It's a really cool song. There's so much catchy stuff in that one.
And that one,
you guys don't like it.
Voodoo is fucking great. Well, the only thing that bothers me about Sign of the Southern Cross is just Vinny's drum commentary is just very boring. It doesn't sound Sabbathy enough for me.
No. Yeah. Sabbathy is bluesy.
Right. Yeah. But it still works. I don't know. I like this cover.
No, it works, but you know, you said things I dislike. That's just one thing that happens to bug me. I still love the song.
Yeah. And actually, I never heard the original version first. I heard a cover of it on the Dio tribute album. And I really like that version. And then when I finally got this album, I was like, wow, it's still a good song.
Who did that? Hammerfall or fucking Nightwish? Or
I'm gonna say Fate's Warning, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
You know who would have killed it on drums?
What is so funny? What is so funny?
Jesus Christ.
What's so funny?
Just thinking that a Face of Warning cover song would be better than the original on anything of that album.
I didn't say it was better, but I said it was really good. It made me want to listen to the original version.
Well,
it was pretty close.
Just using the word good and Face of Warning in the same fucking sentence is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Mob Rules, as good as it.
I'm trying to get to the lyric part here. No, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Check out the Face Warning and then tell me if you don't like that version.
All right. Anyway, what I was going to say was my first exposure to this record was I saw the movie Heavy Metal, and they did a demo version of Mob Rules for that they cut live in the studio. Fucking killer. Awesome. Did you ever listen to that, Wayne, since we talked about this last?
I'm busy.
Fucking great version of the track. But anyway, that led to me getting this album.
That's going to be part of Uncle Saxon's story, so keep it to yourself.
All right. Do you want to give us a story now since we've kind of finished the Mob Rules album?
Really? I never got to talk about Mob Rules.
Oh, well, you were talking over everybody, so I thought you were talking about it.
Okay, well, I'm
not.
Talk about, Turn Up the Night is like the premier preemptive Dio song. That song is a Dio band song. Vivian Campbell could have put that on Holy Diver, and it would have fit right in. E5150, come on, that shit just fucking. If you have to listen to it on headphones, and then at the end of it,
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome.
Oh, Jonah! That shit fucking kicks you in the face, man.
It does.
Yeah, how is that? How is there anything?
I don't need that intro though.
That fucking intro.
I don't need that for that song.
Yeah, well, fuck you, man. You know, I'll come and gag you and fucking make you listen to that and just fucking blast it in your face, and then I will punch you about the face and neck when he says Jonah. Country Girl is very special.
Oh, come on. He doesn't say, oh, come on.
No, he says, oh, Jonah.
I thought he said, oh, come on.
Dio.
Yeah, it's very specific to each part of individual needs, apparently. Turn Up the Night. That could also be on Holy Diver. What else we got? Voodoo. It's Voodoo. One of his best vocal performances ever. But Country Girl is very special to me. Always has been. The people that need to know understand. That song is part of my DNA. So we're going to talk about Holy Diver now? Nate, go ahead.
I wanted to cut in. Voodoo reminds me a lot of Tarot Woman by Rainbow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Off of Rising.
Yeah.
Well, his vocal performance, yeah, I can get that. Yeah,
but that guitar riff, that's totally Iommi there, man. His riffs are so great on this fucking record. His riffs are always great, though.
Seriously. Oh, yeah. I mean, we can go back to Heaven and Hell, but I'm sorry, Mob Rules, and I know Dragon is the biggest fan of fucking Born Again that I've ever met, and the little guy and the bald guy have, probably just basic opinions, but me and Dragon have die-hard opinions. Mob Rules is the best fucking Black Sabbath album they ever fucking recorded. The best, heaviest riffs Tony Iommi ever came up with. And I know he was trying to outdo Randy Rhoads at the time. And that's understandable. Because there was still a lot of animosity. The whole Sharon and Don Arden fucking kerfuffle. It was there was a lot of shit going on there. And I gotta tell you, if I had to pick between Mob Rules and Diary of a Madman, I'd fucking pick Mob Rules every day of the week.
Really? See, what the thing I missed about this Sabbath is there's no doomy stuff. There's no slow. Everything is kind of it's a little bit faster on this album.
That's why it was
normally
cool.
I wouldn't complain, but that's not what I'm looking for from Sabbath.
Yeah, and that's actually why I like Born Again better than this era a little bit too, is because they brought back in the doom on that.
Yeah.
Right,
But,
Tony Iommi's riffs shine
this
the
is
most.
just so, but Mob
So
Rules
you're
is
saying
just still.
E5150 wasn't doomy? E5150 was doomy as a motherfucker.
It's not a.
Nah, it's a great ethereal synth riff, but it's not doomy in the sense that like Stonehenge is on the next record. Like
Yeah,
that actually sounds.
Spinal Tap, Stonehenge. Where the
No, not Spinal Tap. We all know the best Spinal Tap album is Shark Sandwich, but
Yeah.
Well, I got a two-word review for that. Shit sandwich.
hey, remember, cucumber in the pants never hurt either.
That's right, brother. That's right. I love you, brother.
You too, man.
That's the second
Sort of
time
a
I've
blues,
had.
jazz blues hybrid.
Sorry, this is running way too long because we got to get to the news. Because I really researched all the fucking albums I hate all day long. I did that. So, Nate, what do you think about Diver Down, brother?
Holy Diver, fucking classic, must own.
Oh yeah,
Diver
The
Down.
reason I have a Dio patch. The reason
Actually, I
Dio
read a
patch.
very interesting article about Diver Down, which was released yesterday in 1982 that I was reading. So it's funny he said that, but I'll talk about that when we get to the news part.
Interesting.
or after we discontinue this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
Holy
the
Diver,
third time.
Nate. Yeah.
Fucking must own.
Oh,
Classic.
God, man, I did not miss that. All right. Anybody listening to the podcast is very lucky right now. You don't have to see this.
They have a cave troll.
Oh, come on! Don't stick that.
Okay, sorry, Nate. Go for it.
He's gonna put it in his mouth now, isn't he?
Jesus Christ. Oh, my
That's
God.
the spice of life right there, baby.
When your standards are just peak.
Nate, you're young.
Lower. Standards are lower than the
I'll
fucking
put
Dow
it to
Jones.
you. I'll put it to you guys this way: the both of us have, at some point in life, probably snorted coke off of a stripper's ass crack, and we're still alive. Cigarette in the belly button ain't nothing, brother.
I don't have enough money for coke or strippers.
Boy,
Nate, that's why you got to learn how to donkey punch, man. And you got to be quick.
Nate, Holy Diver.
Again, classic. Must own. Stand up and shout. Fucking, I'm gonna kill myself. What are you doing?
No, you froze and you had.
I've got the fire. I'm trying to let it out.
Oh my
Do
God.
you have desire? Stand up and
Stand
shout.
up and shout.
Maria Shriver.
You've been living like a Kennedy. What happened to prestige?
Holy
I
Diver.
need, yeah.
Title track. Fucking classic. Great song. Great intro to metal for a lot of people. Gypsy also reminds me of Tarot Woman.
Reminds me of when Skeletor married the Terminator.
Hey,
Reminds me
Nate,
of Mystery
you listen
Science
to
Theater.
Rainbow Rising like a whole shitload when you were growing up, or
No,
What
I just listened to it
that's
this
not Rainbow
weekend.
Rising, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you must have listened to that album a shitload, and then
No, I just
kind
listened
of
to that this week
bypassed the
again
next
this
5
weekend.
That's it's a good comparison though, because that's one where Dio really got heavy into the songwriting with Richie, so he's got a big presence on that.
You okay, Nate? A
Right.
little itchy.
Fucking razor burn.
But I mean, this was the perfect group of guys for this record, especially like passion wise and everything.
Yes.
Perfect timing.
Oh yeah, there's really not one bad song on this album, really.
So
Stand Up
Nate,
and
No,
Shout.
there really isn't.
what do you think about this album?
It doesn't matter. Holy Diver. I mean, that's they still play it on the radio today.
Oh yeah,
You know?
Caught in the Middle's cool. Don't Talk to Strangers, probably Dio's best vocal solo. Just where he just dives into a song like that.
Yeah, that's.
Oh hell yes.
That's my favorite vocal performance from him from his solo career, but I'd have to say it's even with Stargazer for overall.
No. Overall,
Yeah.
I'd still go with Stargazer, but for just a single moment where he dives in on Don't Talk to Strangers.
He's just so fucking emotional right there. That moment brings fucking tears to my eyes every time I listen to this record. I fucking love that song.
You guys remember Egypt, the Chains Are On, right? Because that was Dio's finest moment ever.
That's funny because I really don't like that song all that much. I have to listen to it again.
Really? Interesting.
Okay, anyways, sorry, Nate.
Yeah, but
go for it, brother.
Straight Through the Heart, another fucking great song. Invisible, great song. Oh yeah.
Sorry, I get jacked up.
No, you're good. I get it, dude. Rainbow in the Dark, probably my favorite Dio radio hit.
Yeah.
His only Dio hit.
It's a fucking great song.
And
then Shame on the Night, also a good song.
Shame on the Night almost could have been a Black Sabbath song.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I fucking agree with that, totally.
As a doomy feel
I think they could have switched Turn Up the Night and that song you were just saying, Shame on the Night. They could have put those on either album and they would have fit perfectly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Vinny Appice joined Dio on this album. Did he leave Black Sabbath purposely to come to Dio, or how did that happen?
Yeah, they both left Sabbath at the same time. Well, what tensions were already high in the band. What actually was the last straw didn't really happen in the way they thought it happened. It's just the engineer was confused. What happened was Ronnie and Vinny went into the studio one day when they were mixing Live Evil that Tony and Geezer couldn't make it there, and they asked to listen to the playback, and the fucking coked out recording engineer told Tony Iommi Dio came into the studio and turned all his vocals up, which isn't actually what happened. But that didn't come out until later, but there had been tension in between them since writing the Mob Rules record. Dio was really ready to go out on his own, and you can hear it developing on Mob Rules too, which is a big part of why I think Holy Diver is so strong. Right. Plus, on top of that, you have what Vivian was bringing coming out of just being in a very popular yet but pretty much strictly local band in Sweet Savage. But he had so many good riffs and ideas that he was able to bring with him and have it work with what Dio was doing, and it came out great.
Yeah. And just as a side note, Tony Iommi was the real dick on Live Evil because he told the record label, Epic, I think, I don't know, whoever it was.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah. They told them to put Ronnie James Dio's name as Ronnie Dio.
Mm-hmm.
And,
oh my God!
That pissed off Ronnie James Dio so much that it pushed him to put out Holy Diver. Like that really had an influence on him because he fucking hated Tony Iommi at that time. And Tony Iommi hated him. And so if you look on the back cover of Live Evil, it just says Ronnie Dio. It doesn't say Ronnie James Dio.
And another interesting tidbit, Ozzy also hated Ronnie James Dio around the same time, and during the Speak of the Devil tour, he had a midget that he named Ronnie that would bring him drinks on stage. Right. That was dressed like a little devil.
Ronnie the dwarf. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Dio also hated Ozzy.
I need another drink. Fucking great.
Which we should not laugh at because, our Holy Father is now passed away, and he's a hologram. So
Yeah.
let's have a moment of silence.
What was the hatred between Dio and
Let's have
Ozzy?
a moment of silence for Ronnie the Dwarf.
Probably because Ozzy was kind of a dick.
Yeah, but what did he do to...
Ronnie the Dwarf was who I wanted to have a moment of silence.
That and he wanted Black Sabbath to open for Ozzy.
I'm not talking about a dwarf, okay?
I'm sure the dwarf thing did not help.
No, it was a real clusterfuck. That whole time period from 80 to 83 was a real clusterfuck, and the Ozzy, Arden, Iommi, Osborne, fucking Dio, that whole thing was just a clusterfuck, man. It was a tornado of bullshit.
Anyone who had a solo metal career
just cranked out the best fucking music of that time period. So maybe Sharon's onto something. You know?
Maybe.
Stir up the fucking bee's nest, Sharon. Fucking let's make Ozzy make another great album, because this last one kind of sucked.
I think she keeps trying to do that. It just doesn't work anymore.
Well, I don't think it'll ever happen again without Bob Daisley, to be quite honest.
And Lee Kerslake.
Yep. But I mean, even without Lee Kerslake, you know, Daisley saved his ass a couple times later on No More Tears, No Rest for the Wicked.
No More Tears is a great album.
And I swear to God, he probably never got a dime for any of that because of that cunt Sharon.
Not until about 2 years ago.
Oh, is that right?
He finally won his case.
All right. Well, good for him, man.
To be fair, though, he was also blowing a lot of the money on Blow.
Who?
Ozzy.
I'm talking about Bob Daisley, not
Bob
Ozzy
Daisley.
Osbourne. The guy that with Randy Rhoads and Lee Kerslake wrote the entirety of those first two records.
I thought Sharon was holding money from Ozzy. And I was
Sharon got him to record those first two albums over again with Mike Inez and Zach Wilde.
No, Mike Borden.
Or was it Johnny Five?
Mike Borden.
Okay, whoever.
And Robert Trujillo did the bass.
Mike Inez was playing bass at the time. And they recorded those albums and put them out as remasters, just so Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake couldn't get fucking royalties off of them. And she's a fucking cunt and a half.
Yep.
And if anybody needs to be bitch slapped, I want Bruce Dickinson to go up to her and bitch slap her ass.
Bruce Dickinson has earned a bitch slap too.
But yeah. Anyways, love you.
Holy Diver.
Holy Diver.
Yeah. What do you have to say about it, Wayne?
I love this album. I told you before. I said there's no bad song on this album. Everything's great. Stand Up and Shout, Holy Diver, Gypsy, Caught in the Middle, Don't Talk to Strangers. Another song I never heard of the original until I heard Blind Guardian's version on the Dio tribute album. Actually, the first Dio thing I ever owned was a tribute album to Dio. So I heard all the really cool songs.
Wow.
But there's some really cool cover songs on there. Even what's that song that Egypt in Chains, Doro did a cover of that. And she did a really good cover of it. That was pretty cool.
A lot better than the original, man, because that was fucking Dio's prime spot.
Yeah, no, a lot of them weren't as good as the original, but
you get the fucking split and went to town, man. That song, seriously.
But
this would be my second favorite Dio album after Rising by Rainbow.
But the Blind Guardian version of Don't Talk to Strangers might blow away the Dio version. I'm sorry.
Blasphemy. You're fired.
Listen to it. I don't know. What it
Who's
is,
gonna do everything then?
Yeah. The show will never get done. The show's over.
The show would be over.
Right. The thing is with the Blind Guardian version is on the Dio original version, I think Dio doesn't sing the vocals in the right spot sometimes, and with the Blind Guardian one, everything just like fits like the way it should fit. It like flows a lot nicer and a lot
You
better.
know what? Dio wrote the fucking song, and he sings
I
the
know
parts
he wrote
where
it.
he wrote the parts.
Yeah, but they needed to be like moved around, and you just have to listen to both versions. And don't shake your head at me. Straight Through the Heart, cool one. Invisible. I don't even remember what Invisible sounds like, to tell you the truth.
I don't like that song.
Be invisible.
Rainbow in the Dark, again, they still play that song on the radio constantly. That freaking keyboard intro.
There's lightning.
Thanks for interrupting me. The keyboard intro is very catchy. And then once that song comes in, and then Dio comes in with that the lyrics, it's just like, goosebumps,
Oh, yeah.
And then Shame on the Night. We talked about that.
You know what always brings me down, dude?
Yeah.
Jump.
That's Holy Diver, yeah.
Jump on tiger.
Fucking wombat titties, man. Just give me so hot.
Man,
Now we got to a wombat in a bikini.
You should have called me today. I would have looked up those. I got the fucking original.
Yeah,
So,
I forgot.
Talk about Holy Diver.
Yeah, go ahead. Quick. Greg, did you even talk about Holy Diver? I don't think you did.
No, I didn't yet. But
Okay, Uncle Saxon, how do you
can go
feel?
Quick.
Dragon, go for it.
Okay, great album. One of my favorites. Only song I really don't like on it is Invisible. It's just kind of there, kind of boring. It works within the context of the album. But other than that, great record. Fucking total classics. Don't Talk to Strangers. Holy Diver is just an awesome song. Still played on the radio. Rainbow in the Dark. Stand Up and Shout is one of the best album openers ever. Vivian Campbell just tears it up on
Look
here.
at you.
Caught in the Middle is a great song, and that one actually started out as a Sweet Savage song called Straight Through the Heart. Sounds better as a Dio song, but I always thought it was interesting that it started off with that title and that there's a song called Straight Through the Heart on here.
Yeah, since you didn't like Vinny Appice's drumming on the Black Sabbath album, how do you feel about his album on the Dio? How do you feel about his drums on the Dio album?
This is geared more towards his style. He's not trying to fit into something somebody else would do.
Right.
So this works better for him. And while he isn't a great drummer, he does have some unique things he does. And he's able to bring them out really well on Holy Diver. And I think him, Dio, Jimmy Bain, had all worked together variously before, and Vivian Campbell clearly had a good rapport with him, and they just made it work. It may not technically be the best ever, but it's one of the greatest albums, and they play super tight is the other thing. They're just awesome as a unit.
Tight unit, man. I mean, those four guys fucking, I got to see them on Holy Diver and Last in Line and Sacred Heart and whatever came after that, and they were doing the whole Slay the Dragon thing on stage, and it makes me sad. Oh, hold on, are you done, Dragon?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to tell you about Holy Diver. Holy Diver to me was I actually wore a Dio t-shirt for my fucking class picture.
Yes, you did.
I think you actually looked that up.
Yes, I will. I will put it up on the screen when I edit the show.
That's rock and roll. So that guy fucking had so much influence on me because. Before that, I was into the Clash, and I was into DOA, and I was into the Damned, and then chicks started saying, "Hey, this heavy metal shit is, I'm gonna fucking fluff my hair up," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna fluff my hair up. I'm gonna put on eyeliner. I'm gonna put on fucking eyeliner," and walking through the concourse at the Met Center, you know, the music really had an effect on me, but the culture had a really big effect on me. Yeah. So let's just talk about the album. Don't Talk to Strangers. Really good opener. Very, man, it'll take you into the rest of the album. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. See, I'm going back to Mob Rules because that's how my mind works. But the whole album, I'll just tell you my Uncle Saxon story, and it'll make more sense because I'm not going to remember the individual songs. But you know, it was very, it infected my DNA. That album infected my fucking DNA. I thought Mob Rules infected my DNA. And then when Dio came up with Holy Diver, it was a whole new ball of wax, man. And I can only talk emotionally about it. I can't talk to you about it physically or musically. You know, where did Jimmy Bain come from? He was in Rainbow, right? Hey, Dragon. He was in Rainbow, so what was he doing? Was he in Whitesnake or something in that time? Or
no, I think he was just in Rainbow, and then he went with Dio.
So there had to be a 3 or 4 year gap there where he wasn't doing anything?
Yeah, I mean, he was probably doing session work, but I don't know of any major band he was in. I mean, he's not really on the top of my radar, so I really didn't look to see who else he might have played with in the interim.
All right, so have you guys ever seen the movie True Romance?
No.
Yes, repeatedly.
Okay. There's a moment where they're in the cafe, and he's talking to some hooker, and he looks at her and goes, if I had to fuck a guy, I mean, gun to the head, if I had to fuck a guy, it would be Elvis. And in my mind, if I had to fuck a guy, gun to the head, it would be Claude Schnell. Just because I can see myself bending him over the keyboard. It's a
rainbow in the dark,
thing.
Huh?
Yeah. And that is just for comedic effect. I'm not gay. I love my wife. All right. So on with your show, Nooner.
All right. You done? oh shit! I thought he had his pants off.
Can I interest you guys in a pressed fruit bowl?
For every $5 you tip, Uncle Saxon will take off an article of clothing.
No, please don't.
There's only $10 to go.
What are we giving Mob Rules? Nate.
A 6.5.
6.5. Interesting. Greg.
9.5.
Oh, damn. Saxon.
9.
I'm gonna give it a 6. Sorry. Nate, Holy Diver.
That's got to be a 9, Chief.
Ooh. Good. Greg?
I would also give it a 9.
Oh, Saxon.
9.
Wow. I'm going to make it unanimous. I'm going to say 9.
All right. Cool.
You guys, what? You know something? I feel bad that I kind of feel bad that Mob Rules lost by that margin, man. Because
I find it
such a good fucking album, man. It really is.
Which one has the best album artwork?
Oh, I like Mob Rules more.
I'd say Mob Rules, especially since it really fits, I think, the tone of the album more. I mean, Holy Diver's cool, and it introduces Murray, but...
I give Holy Diver the nod on that one because it's so like a fuck you to Christianity.
Yeah, it's very evil looking. It's cool. The priest in the water, everything, cool shit.
All right, I got 15%. Let's get to the next thing.
Cool. Okay. All right, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. DO1.
I'm still trying to find 2 more albums I hate, so let's hold off that other one for a sec.
We did this already.
Oh, we already did the albums we hate. Yeah.
Oh. Please visit ratsaladreview.com, and please, I beg of you, buy a T-shirt. Please. Wear it around and support our show.
Buy a bunch, cut them up, and turn them into masks. We don't care. Just buy it. Buy it now. Tell a friend. That is half off. This is Crazy Larry's Midnight Madness sale on Rat Salad Review T-shirts.
Well, I would say they're half off.
And with the purchase of every 10
I just want to do the old crying game thing. Can I do the crying game thing?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
And please go check out all the other shows we have on our podcast and on YouTube. Please subscribe. We're almost up to 300 subscribers on YouTube. Please get us there. We're at 282, I believe, right now. So, get us to 300. Hopefully, maybe by the time this episode is out, we'll be there. But if not, please add yourself, and we will see you guys next time. Toodaloo!
What?